All right, today I'm going to discuss 10 different things. I know there's a lot more out there that I've dealt with as an active duty member and as a veteran. These are some of them are questions, some of them are statements, some of them are just things that I want to put out there to let guys know that you're not the only one dealing with. All right, the first one is why did you join the military and was it just for the free education? I want to put that out there for people to understand that education is not free. Think about it. It would be much easier to go out there and get a school loan and pay that back than, hey, I'm going to go serve 4 years in the military, whether it be infantry, whether it be basically, any combat MOSs or maybe even non-combat MOSs. It would be a lot easier to go out there and, hey, I'm going to go basically get a loan and pay that back after I get done doing my actual degree or going to pursue my degree than putting 4 years of your life in the military's hand. They can send you wherever they want. They can do whatever they want with you. So really think about it. I don't think anybody really joins the military. I'm not going to say I don't think anybody joins the military, but majority of the people don't join just for the free education. They join for other reasons. All right, and that goes into why did you join the military? Everybody has their own backstory. Everybody might not have that perfect. My whole family has been in the military. My whole family served in the Marines, so that's why I'm going to join the Marines. Not everybody has that great backstory. Some people honestly probably didn't have a choice, and that's where they ended up at. How was Afghanistan or Iraq? This question kind of catches me off guard sometimes because I don't know exactly what to say to people. I'm not sure if it's because of the news that they're asking me this question and they just really want to know because the news is giving them information that they don't understand, or they're trying to get me to talk about my personal experience. A lot of times, if I don't know you, and I don't interact with you on a daily basis, and if you're not a therapist or somebody that I actually have to interact with, I'm not going to discuss that information with you because I don't know how to deliver that information in a way that people that have never served in that kind of area would understand. And it's not me looking down at them. It's not me thinking any less of them. It's just the reality of the situation. I don't know how to discuss that information with you because it's not easy. What was your job? All right, there's so many different jobs in the military, and if you don't deal with the military on a daily basis, a lot of these jobs won't make any sense. So a lot of times we have to basically tell them what our job was, and then it follow on with questions that honestly I don't know how to answer after the time. Like my job was a combat engineer. I basically walked around and looked for explosive devices in the ground. I also did fortification. I also did vertical construction. And these are different things that some people will basically, keep on prying, keep on prying, keep on prying. And especially when you talk about, you walking in front of people looking for explosive devices, everybody wants to know something about that. I don't really want to talk about that. I mean, honestly, that really is not something that basically is like cool to discuss and stuff like that. Because sometimes there's guys out there that literally probably didn't have a great experience with that. I'm not saying I had a great experience because honestly, walking around looking for a bomb in the ground is not exactly something that you dream about doing. There might be some crazy heads out there, but I'm not one of them. Oh, you live there? Do you know so and so? Listen up, man. Just because I lived in California and just because I lived on Camp Pendleton doesn't mean I know everybody on that base. There is so many different MOSs in the military. All right, I can't know everybody. Just because I served on the same base as a person doesn't mean I know them. And these are a lot of times these are people that like you meet in like an airport or you meet somewhere, and they'll randomly ask you that, like expecting you to know their in-law or their son or whatever it may be. And it's like, no, I don't know him. And if you don't know them, they kind of like give you like a weird look. It's like, okay, well, am I wrong for not knowing the person that you're talking about because I've never heard about that person before? No. Just because people live or work on the same area doesn't mean we know each other. Just putting it out there for people to understand. Do you have PTSD and can I help? All right, listen up, man. Unless you're a therapist, unless you're a foundation that literally deals with PTSD, I don't really see the point of me talking to you about this. All right? Do you have PTSD? That is not exactly a topic that a lot of guys like to put out there. Like, I'm medically retired, and I'm pretty sure if I basically let off with, oh, I got PTSD, that's why I'm out of the military. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, what exactly is wrong with you, That's not something I want to put out there for people to start looking at me and questioning, whether or not I'm going to be one of those ticking time bombs that goes up and just shoots up a place. Because that's the stigma right now about PTSD in the combat veterans kind of environment. They think that a lot of veterans that have PTSD are basically, like these batshit crazy dudes that literally will just snap on a dime. No, a lot of us are just trying to freaking live our lives. A lot of us are just trying to basically, mask our freaking our things that we're going through and just push through and deal with our families and deal with our lives like regular freaking people. You know, we don't want to talk to you about it. Honestly, we don't even want to talk to therapists about it, but a lot of times we have to do because it helps with basically, maintaining our sanity and it helps maintaining our family. Um, did you kill anyone? And actually, that goes to the next one. How did it feel to kill someone? All right, man. I'm just gonna put this out there. Unless you're like one of those dudes that literally like thrives off of basically attention, and or you're basically a bullshit freaking liar, lying ass person that literally like didn't do anything in the military, and now people are asking you questions, and you want to be like, oh, amp yourself up. You're not gonna go out there. You're not gonna be like, hey, yeah, I killed people, and hey, yeah, it felt great, or you're not gonna discuss that with people because if you actually did kill someone or you did take someone's life, that's something that's going to be in your head for the rest of your life. You've seen guys, if you're one of those persons that's seen guys lose their lives, and have seen how it is, how fickle life is when you go overseas, you're not going to be discussing that with somebody that just asks you that question. A lot of times you just give them a look like, are you serious, man? Like, that's just weird. You know, that's one of the questions I hear about all the time. And it's like, and I've actually been asked that. And it's one of those things that's very uncomfortable because that's not something that you want to talk about. And I mean, I'm not like this freaking super high speed, low drag freaking combat veteran that's just shooting people in the freaking face. I did my job. I went over there overseas and I did what I needed to do. And then I came back home. I'm not going to discuss that with you if you're not like the person that was there with me or whatever it may be. That's not something that I feel comfortable with. And I'm pretty sure there's tons of guys out there that feel the exact same way. I was going to join, but listen up, man. Don't care. I do not care. All right. I'm one of those person that basically I'm not going to judge you because you didn't join the military. All right. Everybody always has that story, that sob story of why they didn't join. And some of them are actually real. Like they had illnesses or they had injuries that prevented them from joining. That's great. But I'm not looking down on you because you didn't join. Because honestly, I served as a combat instructor. And I saw guys that literally joined the military that were complete and utter trash. That I wish that never joined the military ever. So honestly, you not joining the military, you going about and pursuing your life, that's great. I wish some of these guys that actually joined the military didn't join the military, but they did. They got in because basically, hey, they had all the right requirements, right? So don't think that you need to justify you not joining the military to every veteran that's out there. They really, honestly, probably don't care. Next thing is, what do you think about politics or the president? Being an active duty member, you are not allowed to discuss that kind of stuff. You're not allowed to basically get involved in the politics, and you're definitely not allowed to bash the president. A lot of people try to get you to talk about that stuff, but reality is you're not allowed to. While you're wearing that uniform, you are not supposed to do that. You see a tons of guys that go out there and do that, and guess what? They get in trouble for it. As a veteran, you could have your personal opinion. You could basically be against the president. You could be for the president, whatever it may be. You can say whatever you want. But there's a lot of guys out there that are just trying to live their life. They really don't give a crap because whether or not we get into politics with you or not, the world's going to go where the world's going to go. Everybody basically was so against, President Trump being the president. And then guess what? He still got elected, and he's still the president of the United States. So that's a topic that a lot of us just don't want to talk with. Therapist or medical? All right. This is one of my biggest things that I want to talk about. All right. The last thing I want to discuss is about therapists and medical. All right. A lot of people get the idea in their head that, the military gets this 5-star medical treatment. And I want people to understand that it's not true. All right. When you're in the military and you're in a leadership role, you don't go to medical. You don't sit there and cry about your injuries or whatever it may be. If you do, you're looked down upon. You're basically treated like an outcast. you're basically treated like less than a person. And if you do ask for help, they're gonna look down on you even more. If you basically get in trouble and that's why you're gonna go get help, they look at you even worse because now you're a person that's causing an issue for them. So people need to understand that a lot of times people in the military, you go through, you suck it up, you have injuries, and you don't document them, you don't write them down. And then when you get out of the military, you're going to the VA trying to claim these things that you have no documentation for, and these people that are behind the desk are looking at you like you're some freaking piece of shit that's looking for a handout. That is not true. If they actually lived a day in the military member's shoe, and I'm honestly, actually, let me pause. All right, I'm not saying that there aren't those people out there that are literally trying to claim false bullshit. Like they're trying to basically sit there and hey, I had this happen to me, and then they literally didn't. But there are tons of guys out there that I know that are trying to get stuff processed through, and they're getting a hard time dealing with it because guess what? They didn't have it documented. They basically don't have the paperwork that shows that it is, but they're literally suffering from the things that happen to them, and people don't want to give them the benefits that they deserve. Therapists, all right. This is one of the things that I've honestly dealt with for a while. I've honestly dealt with over 10, 15, 20 freaking different therapists. And honestly, the biggest thing for me is trust. If I don't trust you, I'm not going to talk to you. And 9 times out of 10, I probably won't trust you even when I start talking to you because I don't believe that you have any investment in me. I feel like basically we are numbers to them. You're a check in the box. You show up for your time slot, you're done, boom, move on. A lot of therapists won't even remember exactly what they were talking about with you. A lot of them won't even remember your name. And that is not something that veterans want to deal with. No veteran wants to deal with it. No active duty member wants to deal with that. You're basically sitting there talking to somebody that once you walk out the door, they won't even basically care. If you die tomorrow, they wouldn't bat an eyelid. Therapists are really difficult to deal with for veterans because you just don't know what you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get that empathetic person that cares, or you're going to get that person that literally doesn't give a shit about you and is trying to freaking screw you over, or that person that hey, just hurry up and finish your freaking talking so I can move on. Like I said, these are just 10 things that I've dealt with. I'm not saying everybody's dealt with them, but this is just some of the stuff out there that I just want to put out there for civilians or whoever may be that's wondering. This is stuff that guys go through, and it's not exactly easy.